All right, thanks, Michelle. Now a warning from the Labor Department that, quote, the near total cessation of the inflow of illegal aliens is threatening the stability of domestic food production and prices for U.S. consumers, end quote. Now that warning appearing in the Federal Register earlier this month. It was part of a filing for a new rule that took effect on October 2nd that could lower the pay for seasonal migrants working in ag under the H-2A visa program. Now this is the adverse effect wage rate we told you about earlier this month. Labor officials saying in the posting there is no indication that unemployed U.S. workers are entering the ag labor force in meaningful numbers. It said without swift action, ag employers will be unable to maintain operations, that the nation's food supply will be at risk. Now, the Washington Post, first reporting on this, the Department of Labor's new Office of Immigration Policy providing a statement to them that the president, quote, is enforcing the law and prioritizing fixing programs farmers and ranchers rely on to produce the safest and most productive food supply in the world. Now, the newspaper says that so far, ICE has deported about 150,000 people from the country. And as I mentioned, the proposed changes to adverse effect wage rates could lower cost of H-2A farm labor. That's been a big topic of conversation at this year's Global Produce and Floral Show in Anaheim, California. Now, it's considered the world's largest such event, happening this week. And that's where we find the Packers' Jennifer Strailey. Jen, what are you hearing about ongoing labor issues there at the show?
Thank you, Clinton. I'm here in Anaheim, California for the International Fresh Produce Association's annual Global Produce and Floral Show, where I spoke with the association's CEO, Cathy Burns, who says rising labor costs contributed to making this year's crop one of the most expensive crops ever planted, harvested, shipped, and sold. But Burns also says the industry has scored two significant wins in the last year on the labor front. It won its lawsuit against the Department of Labor on behalf of farmers who employ temporary workers. It also advised the DOL to develop a less burdensome adverse effect wage rate, which she says they did, and is resulting in the most significant financial shift ever for growers in the H-2A program.
We've been fighting this labor battle for 37 years, and it feels like for the past 37 years we've been in a stalemate. And we now have an administration that is actually focused on deregulation. So for every one new regulation or policy change, 10 have to be removed. So the lawsuit, winning the lawsuit, gave us the confidence to continue to fight for fresh and fight for reduced restrictions on labor. And then when the AWAR change was announced last week, it was the single biggest economic impact in a positive way to our growers that use H-2A. We are advocating for a consistent, workable labor reform solution that works for everybody, and we feel like we have some momentum. The proof will be whether we can get it over the finish line.
Burns says she spoke with one farmer with 850 acres earlier this week who said the AWAR change saved them $2 million. So perhaps there is some labor relief coming to farmers.